Flight 191.
191, sir?
Yep.
Well, sorry, sir, but operations has informed us that that flight will be at least an hour late.
Damn. What's the trouble? It can't be the weather.
All I know, sir, is you're now scheduled to take off at 10:45.
Well, what about... Oh, nuts.
Hello there. Aren't you Coleman of Coleman Motors back home?
That's right. John Coleman, and you're,
Saunders. Bill Saunders, a steel company, out on Seminole, remember?
Oh, sure. I thought you looked familiar. Haven't seen you in quite a while.
May I have your attention, please? There will be a further delay in Flight 191. We are now scheduled to depart at 11:15.
Oh, no, not again. I wonder what the trouble can be.
They never tell you. Just keep postponing the departure time. Well, maybe I can find out.
Don't waste your time. I tried to find out from old Stoneface there. Says he doesn't know, and what's more, he doesn't seem to care.
I know just what you mean.
I thought the airlines were famous for their courtesy and service. At least that's what they've been advertising for years.
Of course, most of them still are.
Maybe they're getting a little too independent to bother about a little thing like considering the customer.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a little thing. Poor handling is one of the fastest ways I know for any business concern to turn a customer right over to its nearest competitor.
Exactly.
How many times have you walked out of a hotel, restaurant, barber shop, gift shop, what have you, and said, boy, I'm never again going to give a nickel's worth of business to that outfit?
I imagine we all have.
And the main reason usually boils down to attitude. The way you were treated.
Miss Davidson. Miss Davidson, would you please step to the desk?
Excuse me.
Passenger Davidson, please.
You know, in our business, we call regular customers who keep coming back for sales and service loyal owners. We figure they're worth their weight in gold, believe me.
You must have changed.
Huh?
Because you and your people at Coleman Motors didn't feel that way. Not back in the days when I was one of your loyal customers. Remember?
What? What happened?
Well, it's all water over the dam now.
No. I'd like to know what happened.
Well, for one thing, when I did switch my loyalty, as you call it, apparently no one out there missed me. Never even tried to find out why I changed.
Well, I'd sure like to know. What was the reason?
Well, it was a little thing, really, but to me it was important because, again, it was a reflection of attitude more than anything else. All right. I'll tell you exactly what happened. You realize, Mr. Gregg, that since I bought this car new almost 10 months ago, I've had it in here a total of 14 times, 3 times in the last month.
Like I say, Mr. Saunders, we've done everything possible. We even reground your valves.
And you did that without my authority, but let that pass. The point is, the car still isn't running right.
Mr. Saunders, I personally road tested your car, and it seems all right. I just don't know why you...
You know, I think you put your finger on the trouble finally right there. You don't know. Maybe I should take the car someplace where they do know what they're doing.
There's nothing the matter with our mechanics, Mr. Saunders. You don't have to worry about that. Now, we've done...
Why doesn't the car run the way it should?
Well, it runs all right for me. Well, frankly, I think you're one of those people who, once they have some trouble, is darn near impossible to satisfy no matter what we do.
Impossible, huh? Well, maybe so. In that case, I'll go where it is possible. That's exactly what I did. The nearest place I came to was one of your competitors.
And?
Well, they eventually found the trouble was a faulty carburetor. Thing would work all right for a while, and then suddenly, poof. So they put in a new one. That's all that was needed.
Carburetor, huh? Well, I'm surprised, because actually the boys in my service department are...
Now, look, I admit that tricky carburetor wasn't an easy thing to spot. The other people just happened to catch it when it was acting up. No, the real reason I left wasn't because of the carburetor. I left you people because your man, Gregg, let his personal feelings get the upper hand.
Well, good Lord, man, he's only human. You were giving him a pretty rough time.
Even so, cost you a customer, didn't it? And I bought 3 new cars since then. Was the argument worth it? And if it happened to me, I'll bet it's happened to others, too. Think it over.
And I did more than just think it over. I went through our sales and service records and pulled out the names of several former customers who, like Saunders, had bought at least 2 or more cars from us in the past, but were now driving competitive makes, and of course, having them serviced elsewhere. Then I went to see these people in person to try and find out exactly why they were no longer numbered among our loyal owners. Just on a hunch, I borrowed a tape recorder and took it along. And I got a lot of answers like, oh, here, just listen. And so I'd really appreciate it if you'd tell me why.
Oh, I don't know, Coleman. I mostly changed over to Chevy because of styling, I guess. Besides, they made me a pretty good deal. That what you want to know?
Well, I can answer that very easily. It's just that from the standpoint of my particular business in this town, I feel I should spread my trade around. Know what I mean? Next year, I'll probably switch to still another make car.
As a practical nurse, naturally, I do a lot of driving in my work.
Yes, Mrs. Harrison, I imagine you do.
So I just got to keep my car in good running order. Well, one of the salesmen from Coates over on Clawson Street said he heard I was having some trouble trying to get service out of you people. So he came after me. Guess he caught me at the right time. And I do have to admit, they do keep my car in good running order. Start, great, even on the coldest days.
Well, those are all pretty normal reasons, aren't they? Any outfit in town could get those same answers, right?
That's right. But I also got some answers I didn't expect or like. Just listen some more.
Sure. I don't mind telling you why. Fact is, I'll start by saying I wouldn't buy another car from Coleman Motors if you gave it to me for cost, or even less.
Mr. Clemens, you were a regular customer of ours. And then...
Then I defected to the Dodge boys, eh? Well, I didn't defect. You chased me away. You're right, I was a good customer of yours. And I thought I ought to be treated like one. I mean, let's face it. Treat me like a king till I bought, then nothing.
How do you mean?
Well, first of all, I get to run around by the service department. Bring the car in for, you know, little adjustments like the glove compartment door or a window that stuck and wouldn't close. Did they fix it right? No. Gave me the idea they were too busy to bother with my little jerky problems. And the salesman, jeez, I try to get him to help. You know, talk to the service guys for me. He'd stay away like I was some kind of poison or something. Right today, he don't even speak when he sees me on the street. Yet, believe it or not, that clunk still sends me literature and postcards. I should come in and see him? Fat chance.
You may or may not remember, the last car I bought from you had given me a lot of trouble. It never was right. I mean, from the very first day. In fact, one time one of your mechanics said that if he attempted the correction, the cure would be worse than the complaint. Well, right or wrong, I got the feeling that you people just didn't care, except that I pay my monthly service bill, which in my opinion was way out of line. I mean, way too high, in spite of your so-called warranty and the things it was supposed to cover.
Well, I wish you'd spoken to me about it.
Well, Coleman, I did. Twice. Once on the phone, once I even wrote you a letter. But nothing happened. I just figured you people didn't care. Well, I mean, you asked me why we don't buy our cars from you anymore.
That's exactly what I asked.
Well, it's because I not only get good service where I am now, but they seem to go out of their way to give me the impression, at least, that they care about me as a customer and want to keep me. So can you blame me?
Begin to see what I'm getting at? The thing that really jars me about all this is that almost every case, not all, but almost all, while a mechanical defect, a misunderstanding, an honest mistake, something that could happen to anyone, might have been the basis of the complaint, that wasn't the reason we lost these customers. No. We lost these customers not because of the complaint itself, but because of the way these customers were handled. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, but what?
Try a little harder?
I think maybe I have a suggestion, at least as a starter. The other day out on the showroom floor, I found these. Little silver shoes. Looks like they came from a charm bracelet. Obviously, they belong to some customer. And that's my point. They're customer shoes. While I've been waiting for somebody to come by and claim them, I've just carried these little shoes around in my pocket. And while it may just be my imagination, I've discovered that these little customer shoes have a kind of a, well, let's call it magic charm. Let me explain what I mean. Last Friday afternoon, I happened to be out in the service department.
And furthermore, I don't like and I can't afford to spend as many hours of my working time just waiting around in a garage.
Mr. Norbury, we have many other service customers, too, you know. We just can't drop everything every time you walk in. And
Yeah, well, you fixed the car right in the first place, I wouldn't have to come in so much. But this is the last time, believe me, and I mean it.
Well, I'm sorry,
I
but...
say, how would you feel if you were me? Just put yourself in my shoes. How would you feel?
I think I can see your point of view, Mr. Norbury.
It's about time somebody does.
The engine, you say, is still rough, huh?
It sure is.
Then you want something done about it right now. George, you get his car and we'll run it over the scope and find out why the engine runs rough.
Well, you guys should have had this analyzer thing here a long time ago. Anyway, can you fix it now?
It's a pretty big job. We'll have to pull a man off of something else.
Well, now we're right back where we started from.
Not exactly, Mr. Norbury.
How do you mean?
We understand how busy you are, but we want to do the job right.
So?
So instead of just dropping in for service like you have been, why don't we set up a definite time? Make an appointment.
Well, I guess I could do that. When?
At your convenience.
All right. I'll go for that. See what happens.
As I say, maybe it was just my imagination, but at least these little shoes reminded me to at least try on the customer's shoes. You know, look at us and our operation from where he stood, so to speak. Result, instead of losing another customer, I think we saved him.
And it seems so easy.
I know a couple guys around here who could use a little reminder like that.
Yeah, so do I. So I went out and bought some customer shoes for everybody in the organization. Salesmen, mechanics, department heads, office help. Even got a little charm bracelet here for Jan at the switchboard. I want you to give these to everybody in your departments and explain what they mean. There'll be enough of these for all of your people.
You're Jack Holland, aren't you?
Yep, that's me.
Well, maybe you can tell me something. Is this 24-month guarantee a fact? Or is it just a gimmick to get suckers like me to buy a car around here?
No, it's for real.
Well, then level with me, will you? Your boss told you mechanics to really avoid fixing a car and doing it right until that warranty thing runs out?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the lousy service you get around here. Apparently, after they sell you a car, nobody gives a damn what happens. I've had my car for 6 months and it still isn't right.
Maybe you ought to talk to our service manager. He's sitting right over there.
I've already talked to him. I talked to Coleman himself. I've even written out a list of my complaints and sent it to the Ford Motor Company headquarters in Dearborn. What do I get? Just a lot of polite replies that do nothing but pass the buck all up and down the line right back here to the dealership. But there's nobody you can pass the buck to. Because according to the initials on the work order sheet, the last time it was in, you're the guy that was supposed to have done the work on my car.
Well, what's the main trouble?
You know damn well what it is. It's the steering. I remember the first time I told you about it, you said it was because the car was still too new, that it would loosen up in time.
Well, usually in cases like that, that's what happens.
So how come it took a guy at the gas station to spot the trouble? He said there wasn't a drop of oil in the steering thing, and there never had been.
Well, I guess the guys in the grease rack just forgot...
So you're trying to pass the buck too, eh?
No, sir, I'm not. And looking at it from your point of view,
Well, it's about time somebody looked at it from my side.
I'll have to admit it, I guess. You did tell me about the steering. I guess I just forgot to check it out. Besides, I figured the guys in the grease rack would...
Geez, if I had to go around assuming that somebody else was going to do my work.
I'm sorry, Mr. Becker. Next time you bring your car in, I'll make sure that...
Next time? I doubt if there'll be a next time. I'll give you this much, though. You're the first person I found around here that was man enough to admit that maybe he was wrong. Maybe I'll give you another whack at it at that. Depends on how they adjust this bill.
Now, Mr. Akers, if you'll just sign this order, we'll be all set. Fine. Now, here's what I want you to do. Just about 5 o'clock, you deliver the car right to the house. I'll have the wagon that I'm trading parked in the drive. The keys and everything will be in it. Okay. Then just park the car right in front of the house, with the top down and everything. You know. And then just get in the wagon and go. My wife is really going to be surprised.
A wonderful surprise. She's going to love that convertible. Now, what's the date of your wife's birthday?
Why, it's today.
Today?
That's right. I told you when I first came in that I couldn't think of anything to get her for a birthday present. So I suddenly, just on impulse, decided to get her a white convertible. I told you that.
And her birthday is today?
Yeah, I doggone near forgot it, too. Why? What's the matter?
It so happens that, at the moment, we don't have a single white convertible in stock.
Well, this is a fine time to tell me that.
Would you consider some other color?
No, it's got to be a white one.
If we had known just a few days ago.
I sure am disappointed. Was a screwy idea, but that's the kind of guy I am.
Mr. Akers, I think I understand exactly how you feel.
You do?
And I have an idea. If we're lucky, we may still make it. Let me get on the phone.
What are you going to do?
Well, somewhere in this town or a neighboring town, I think I can locate a dealer who does have a white convertible in stock.
And of course, my wife was as delighted as she was surprised with her birthday present. I just want you to know that I appreciate the fact that you people at Coleman Motors went, quote, way beyond the call of duty, unquote, to make a hero of me. Yours thankfully, A.P. Akers. So it would seem that a little extra effort when it comes to customer handling does pay off.
What do you mean, little extra effort? Carter had a heck of a time locating that particular car, plus a dealer who was willing to make a trade. We almost had to buy it outright.
But the point is, you got the car. You delivered it on time and you made us a friend, as this letter proves. Let's talk some more about people who write letters that complain instead of compliment.
Well, I'll say this much about customer complaints. Once you follow through on and investigate a typical customer gripe, you find that most of the time the customer is, at least technically, in the wrong. I'm talking about things like the warranty interpretation and so on.
Then it's up to us to do a better job of explaining it in the first place.
But then again, I know certain customers who, just because they are customers, expect and demand too much.
Yeah, well, I can think of a couple of customers of ours that we'd be better off if we had never had them in the first place. Well, all they do is complain, make a little mistake in the billing or something, and geez, the roof caves in.
They're what I call the good guys.
The good guys? What do you mean?
At least they complain to us. Give us a chance to adjust the complaint as quickly and courteously as possible. And when we do that, we still got them as customers.
Who needs them?
On the other hand, the ones I call the bad guys are the ones who, when something goes wrong, don't yell. They just quietly walk out and never come back. And don't say who needs them. But seriously, I guess our little efforts to, well, put ourselves in the customer's shoes when we adjust complaints, and more importantly, when we avoid reasons for complaints, is beginning to show results. I know you can't build customer satisfaction on attitude alone. We've got to have plenty of modern tools and equipment, trained mechanics, up-to-date records. Our sales and service pricing has got to be kept competitive. Our showroom facilities, our delivery policy, I'm talking about the whole ball of wax. Sure, it's all got to be right. But on top of all that, we can still lose customers if we don't keep reminding ourselves to take the trouble to handle them with care.
That all, boss?
It is getting late at that. But I want you all to be thinking of some ideas to, well, merchandise and strengthen this customer relations activity we've got going. In other words, what can we do to let our sales and service customers know how much we do value their business?
Oh, there must be a lot of things we can do.
Exactly. Anyway, let's all be thinking about it, huh?
Have a good flight, Mr. Saunders.
Well, this is a coincidence. We meet again. Remember me? Saunders, Heartland Steel.
I certainly do. How are you, Mr. Saunders? Here, sit down. Well, how have you been?
Fine, fine.
Interesting running into you like this again. You know, shortly after the last time we met, your sales manager gave me a call.
Oh?
Said that you'd told him the whole story of how and why you folks lost me as a customer.
As a matter of fact, I did.
Said you were doing everything possible, really trying hard to see that things like that weren't likely to happen again around your place. Wanted me to give him a chance to prove it. Wanted to make a date to show me a new car.
Well? And did you?
No. I told him there was no use wasting his time or mine, because I'm really very happy where I am.
Oh. Well, I can understand that.
But I appreciated the call.
Flight 191, now ready for boarding.
And I appreciated your frankness when you told me the story of why we lost you as a customer.
Too bad. But that's the way it was.
Well, we're still going to keep on trying to get you back.
Can't keep you from trying.
What would you do, Mr. Saunders? Just put yourself in my shoes. Or better still, what would you have done in my shoes?